Call it Operation Make Joe Look Cool. Democrats are hoping to transform the broken-down jalopy into a Bentley, an electric Bentley. So they rolled out Biden's buddies Barack and Bill at a star-studded New York City fundraiser. Democrats want you to believe donors shelled out $26 million just to get a glimpse of the energetic and entertaining Biden. It had nothing to do with the dozens of celebrities and 2 former presidents. Axios hyping up Joe, saying, quote, Biden was the alpha on a stage with 2 of the most gifted politicians of our lifetime. And Stephen Colbert was on stage just spoon-feeding Biden this singer.
Donald Trump, as far as we can tell, has just been trying to win a 3rd championship at his own golf course. My question to you, sir, can voters trust a presidential candidate who has not won a single Trump International Golf Club trophy? At long last, sir, have you no chip shot?
Well, look, I'd be happy to play. I told him this before when he came into the Oval, before he got sworn in. I said, I'll give you 3 strokes if you carry your own bag.
Oh. Biden was apparently so forgettable that the DNC chairman, Jamie Harrison, posted Biden's famous friends on stage, but missed the money shot of the top dog. And if the elite event didn't boost his cool factor, Biden and Kamala are ripping off the 5. While we're the Veep's favorite TV show, they could never do Fan Mail Friday like Greg.
Folks, the Vice President hired to answer some of your questions. First question is, when you and the Vice President have lunch together, what do you normally eat? Well, quite frankly, that's classified. But anything from a hamburger to a salad.
The next question is, how are you feeling about your college basketball brackets? I'm feeling quite good. I was very proud to have picked Oakland at the very beginning, not Oakland, California. I do recognize the difference.
All right, Tarlov, you had an insider at the fundraiser, probably. What was it like?
I have friends? Yeah. People had a really good time. And it was because of everyone who was there. It was like going to a big concert and a political chat show. And, yeah, people want Joe Biden to win again. And they also like the 2 other Democrats that came before him. And they like Stephen Colbert. And they think it's fun to see Lizzo perform. And all those things are true. And I don't see the travesty of all of it. Would you like to elaborate on why it's so bad?
Well, I don't know. It's just because there was a lot of protesters outside. He skipped the funeral of a slain officer to do a podcast before the event. I don't know, Jessica.
All right. The truth of the matter is that the Biden campaign is doing quite well right now. And raking in $26 million in a night is really good. And Donald Trump hopes to, the figure the AP is putting out there, bring in $33 million next weekend when he has a fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago. I hope you guys will be making fun of him then when he has Vanilla Ice and Kid Rock. Now, the way that he's spending... Oh, I'm sorry. And Kevin Sorbo, maybe?
One can only hope.
Well, I'm so excited just thinking about it.
I'll trade Sorbo for Lizzo.
No one will be coming to your concert.
Sorbos for one Lizzo.
So in the substance of it, though, when you bring in $26 million in a night or $10 million out of the State of the Union, you can do things like open up 10 field offices in North Carolina. It's the first time the Democrats will have a field office in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We have 36 offices in Wisconsin. That's how you win elections with ground game, and that's what Donald Trump is hoping to do as well with his legal fees and then field offices, I'm sure, because we're arresting him all the time.
Yes, you have.
I can't stop.
Please do.
Do you know what the difference is? In order for Obama to raise that kind of, for Biden to raise that kind of money, he needs to bring in 2 other presidents. He needs to bring in celebrities. He needs Jeffrey Katzenbach and all the theatrics of the 3 presidents coming up from below the stage, all being raised together. I mean, it's the theatrics for the elite. And I love the juxtaposition. I love the optics of President Trump coming in to go to the funeral of a slain officer. And, you know, I couldn't help but I was reading about some of the things that were said. And Obama said to a protester, he says, you know, you can't just talk and not listen. That's what the other side does. Well, Mr. President Obama, That's exactly what MSNBC does to Republicans. They do all the talking and they won't listen. And in the end, Donald Trump will outraise Biden by just having people at his club having dinner with him because people are fascinated with him. They know he's not going to stumble or mumble or any of that other stuff. And when Biden talks about we're at an inflection point in history, we are. The country's being overrun. Crime's out of control. It costs $10,000 more every year to live. And people are fed up with it. And I think that, and I want to close on this, is that there is a video of Governor Hochul apparently getting rejected today at the funeral home of slain Officer Diller. And it's because people are fed up. They've fed up with the talk. People talking the talk and not walking the walk. And there she is leaving the funeral home.
Are you fed up, Kennedy?
I'm actually deeply entertained by all of this. I think that if President Biden loses in the fall, they can look at yesterday and go, well, maybe that's why. You know, if you hold the two screens up side by side, President Trump doesn't look like the worst person in the world. He looks like someone who's fed up with an issue that is affecting every state and every major city in the country, and that is rising crime. And even though crime has fallen statistically a little bit in New York City,
A lot.
it still feels pretty bad when the New York Times is writing about women getting sucker punched in the face. You know, you also have Jeffrey Katzenberg talking about this historic night, you know, this American record they pulled in, and all of his historic accomplishments. Meanwhile, 38% of respondents in the most recent Fox News poll said the president's most impressive accomplishment is nothing. And 6% said the most impressive thing he's accomplished in office is not being Trump. I don't know how that wins elections, and I don't know how relying on your A-lister friends to raise money gets you enough money to beat President Trump when it's a very different game than it was in 2020.
GG.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was like Live Aid for ugly people. A March of Dimes for millionaires. If only there was a word that describes a bunch of jerks that form a circle. But it was a telethon. It was a telethon for a very sick man stricken by Trump fever. And it's a shame Jerry Lewis wasn't here to host it. But here's the thing. So there were photos with the three presidents, right? Would cost over $100,000, $100,000. What a great story to tell people. Like, hey, how'd you get that picture? Well, I paid $100,000 for it. It immediately deflates the uniqueness of having that photo. It's just a pompous thing to have around your office. The big point, and the judge alludes to it, why were the three of them there? You needed 3 Democrat presidents to deal with Trump. Think about the math on that one. They needed 3 Democrat presidents to deal with Trump. Now let's move on to the phrase limousine liberal, right? We hear that phrase. Why does that phrase exist but limousine conservative doesn't exist? Well, I'll tell you why. It describes the hypocritical rich leftist who demands the use of public transportation while they fly private. They're the same people who demand public education for all of you without choice, but then send their sniveling little brats to private education with high tuitions. They're the people who marched for defunding the police, who champion Black Lives Matter, but are separated from the rabble with private security, usually manned by retired police officers. So what you saw there was the encapsulation of the limousine liberal. Now, I love rich people. They're the best. I think I might be one of them. But there is no such phrase as limousine conservative precisely for this reason. It is not about wealth or status. It's that the limousine liberal wants you to practice the views they themselves refuse to practice as they push them on you. So they use their wealth and status to keep themselves immune from the hell that they put forth on others. So when you look at that and you can't explain, like, why does that make me sick? I explained it. That's why it makes you sick. We're all gonna, Trump's gonna raise money. Biden's going to raise money. Biden might raise more because, Trump doesn't need as much. He beat Hillary, right? Yeah. Without having. So they're all going to try to raise money. But there is something different about this. It's because they want the money and the status for themselves, and they don't want it for you.